Ain't no coochie tight enough, ain't no ass fat enough, and there is certainly no prayer and Bible study to make a serial cheater not play in your face. But I guess everybody out here getting cheated on. Tina Snow, Tina Campbell. It seems like no one can, quote, keep a man. This is the tale of the Madonna, the whore, and the men on the internet who nobody asked. Let's talk about it. First of all, let's get one thing straight. Y'all need to stop seeing Russell Wilson in every black, biracial, or light-skinned athlete. Not every light-skinned man is Russell Wilson. We need to stop projecting onto other people. I mean, we don't even know if Russell Wilson is who we think Russell Wilson is. We don't know anything about Sierra and Russell's marriage. It could be messy. It could be great. We don't know. But a lot of you see some tall, light skin with a solid 6 out of 10 face card and assume that he's going to be a safe choice. A lot of y'all saw Klay Thompson for the first time in your lives when Meg popped out with him, and a lot of you guys assume that he looks like a square. He definitely worships the ground she walks on, right? And that is why I still stand by this video that I made a couple months ago. Because in this video, I said multiple times that Klay Thompson is perceived to be a great guy, because I don't personally believe in relationship goals until I can become a fly on the wall and see what actually happens in these relationships behind closed doors. I take everything as an image. Now, if I knew shit about basketball, or at least I gave an F about WAG relationships, I would have probably known that Klay Thompson had already been exposed as a serial cheater. And apparently, two of the many women he cheated on were Coco Jones and Laura Harrier. I don't know if that's how she properly pronounces her last name. Apologies. Because just like most of Meg Thee Stallion fans, I don't give a fuck about no BB. I didn't know who this man was. I did not know what team he was on, and I most definitely did not know any of this man's stats. I still don't. So if I had known that Klay Thompson was notorious for playing two types of sports, the first being basketball and the second being playing in women's faces, this video would have been cut in half. Also, I see a lot of women talking about the fact that they just can't wrap their head around the fact that Klay could have cheated on Meg because she's so beautiful and gorgeous. On the other side, you have a lot of men saying that they are not surprised by the fact that Klay cheated on Meg because he also cheated on bad bitches like Coco Jones and Laura Harrier. I really don't understand why people are stressing the fact that Meg is so hot, or Coco is so hot, or Laura is so hot. Because do you know what a compelling factor in determining whether your partner is going to cheat on you is? It's if they already have a pattern of being a serial cheater. Klay could have been exposed for cheating on the ugliest woman in the world. Like, there could have been an actual survey done, right? And they could have done this with men all over America. And men all over America could have determined that one particular woman is the ugliest woman in the world. Klay could have cheated on that woman and her identical twin sister, and none of that would have mattered to me. Because what is important is not how hot his ex was, it's the fact that Klay has a pattern of being unfaithful to his partners when he is in a committed relationship. So I only have one question for our good sis, Meg Thee Stallion. To pedestalize a man who is a serial cheater. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. Because now that those of us, like me, who weren't already informed, now know what we know, it's really giving just because he did his exes this way doesn't mean he was gonna do me that way. Next on the docket, to all the people who are planning to make 20 back-to-back videos on Meg so they can afford to pay for their exorbitant rent, and they're gonna start saying shit like, why can't Meg keep a man? Tina Campbell also got dogged out very recently, actually. Would any of the pick-me's and the podcast bros like to share their thoughts on that? Because I'm very certain that a lot of the men that are saying that Meg should have known what to expect from dealing with someone like Klay Thompson, these are the same men that will turn around and say that a man who has cheated a couple times should not be defined by his past. You ladies just don't understand that when a man finds the right woman, a good woman, a righteous woman, when a man finds his equally yoked partner, that he will be able to keep his dick in his pants and he will be able to stop both of his heads from turning. You see, you women don't understand that when a man finds a good woman, he won't have to fight the demon of lust, because the spirit of your submissiveness and your femininity will be so strong that it will overpower any evil Jezebel calling your man at all odd hours of the night. And if a woman that's not extremely gullible hears that BS and responds by saying, well, okay, I mean, I still can't be with someone who's cheated before, though. A lot of the men laughing at Meg right now would probably respond to that woman and say, oh, well, you're too stubborn, you're so naive, you don't understand real life, you're so stupid, well, that's probably why you ain't got a man. And if that woman does have a man, well, that's probably why that man hasn't married you. That's why you probably don't have a husband. But at the same time, if you make the poor decision of deciding to take a chance on a man who has shown a pattern of cheating, just like our good sis Meg did. Meg gave a cheating man a chance, and she was out here not making songs about coochie, but making songs about offering coochie to her man, singing about turning a house into a home, cooking for this man and his family, literally trying to turn his house into a home. And when Clay eventually cheated on her, again because he has a pattern of cheating, these same men look Meg dead in her face. They can't actually look her dead in her face. They can't afford to. These same men shit on Meg on the internet and say that, well, you should have chosen better. You know what this was. But I bet you that the next time a woman goes viral for saying that she's not about to cook for any man until that man makes her his wife, the men will be up in arms. They're going to say shit like, oh, these modern women, you guys are so naive and stubborn and lazy and unrealistic, and that's why all of you guys are going to die alone. And they will conveniently forget, because we're using man logic right now, they will conveniently forget that Meg was out here cooking for her man. She was out here doing wifely duties. She was out here in her Nara Smith era, and Clay still played in her face. And not only did Clay play in her face, but after she told the world that he cheated on her, the men on the internet started laughing at her. So, again, wouldn't it be smart for a woman who desires marriage to not perform any wifely duties at all until she becomes a wife? Honestly, when it comes to dealing with men romantically, I think the dumbest thing you could possibly do is take men's advice or try to understand man logic. I mean, unless you have no problem at all, looking like Boo Boo the Fool. Being tired, overworked, go ahead. In my opinion, most of the advice you get from men on how to, quote, keep a man is going to lead you nowhere but to the bottom of the mother effing ocean, because that is how low your self-esteem is going to be by the end of that relationship or by the end of that marriage. And the same thing applies to the Christian women that turn to the Bible when their ancient man is treating them like trash. Because guess who wrote the Bible? The holy book, the good book, was written, translated, and revised by men. The Christian women who usually turn to the Bible when they want God to help them with their dusty ass relationship or their dusty ass marriage, I call those women the My Reward is in Heaven committee. These are Christian women who almost always stick beside their ancient man, no matter how that man continuously treats them like trash. A typical example, and for all her praying, fasting, Bible study, this man stayed playing in her face, in private, in public, under reality TV show.
I never kissed another man. I never went out with another man. I never entertained the wrong conversation. I never cheated in my head.
And at the end of the day, Tina's husband divorced her.
Ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
You know, at least Megan left. I don't hear any of these men and pygmy women asking why Tina Campbell couldn't keep her man. Because I feel like every so often, when Tina found out that this man had her out here looking like Boo Boo the Fool again and again and again, she would probably just turn to the Bible, girl. She would find just multiple excuses for why she should not divorce this man. Girl, Tina's man got so tired of playing in her face that at some point, I'm pretty sure he would just lay him pipe to see her reaction. Who knows, maybe he wanted to see if she would finally stand up for herself and leave him. Tina's husband was probably looking at her like this.
Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up!
I am in no way blaming Tina for getting cheated on. Listen, if somebody cheats on you, be it the first time, the 10th time, the 212th time you get cheated on, it is never your fault. However, the fact that she did not think to ever leave this man, I can't think of any other reason for Tina to have stayed in such an embarrassing, unfaithful, and untrustworthy marriage. I mean, I can't think of any other reason besides the fact that women like Tina, deep down, somehow believe that they will be rewarded by God in heaven for staying in a dusty ass marriage, for choosing to honor their marriage. And that is why I call Christian women like Tina Campbell the My Reward is in Heaven committee. Now I'm going to talk about Stephen A. Smith, the 50-something-year-old chicken hen who is out here talking about everything besides sports. He came out saying, why did Meg have to come out and tell people that he cheated? Why did she have to come out and put out a specific statement? Why couldn't she be vague about it? Why couldn't they have just parted ways? Besides the obvious answer to that dumbass question, being that both of them are public figures, so if we saw them not taking photos together, if we saw them doing their own separate things, we would be asking questions. This is the world we live in now. People want to know the tea. People like to gossip. Just like Stephen A. Smith, this chicken hen is out here gossiping. Not even a rooster, but a chicken hen. Personally, I don't think there's a problem with the fact that she's telling the public that he cheated. I believe that if somebody cheats on you, gives you an STI. However, somebody violates you, I think you should tell people. Tell people. Saying that Meg is trying to ruin Clay's reputation, as if, unlike me, he wasn't one of the sport fans who knew that Clay was community dead. So if Meg comes out and says that they broke up because he cheated, what reputation are we ruining here? I'm confused. Now, to no one's surprise, Meg breaking up with Clay has led to a lot of public discourse on both sides. Some people are saying, well, who the hell is Klay Thompson anyway?
Didn't know Klay Thompson before Meg Thee Stallion. We didn't know Stephon Diggs before Cardi B. And while these guys have more money than these girls have social and global influence. Meg Thee Stallion made Klay a global star, whether he wants to admit or not.
And in response to that, you have some people saying, well, who the hell was Megan Thee Stallion compared to Klay Thompson?
Who do these people be? Huh? Who the fuck do these people be? First thing this lady says is we didn't know Klay Thompson before Meg Thee Stallion. Lady, what the fuck is you talking about? Who is we? Is she talking about the five-time NBA champion?
About the Splash Brother, bro.
The Splash Brother?
That's what I think she's talking about.
You're not even in our country, baby.
From what I can gather, Klay was that guy, okay? He was him at some point. But currently, in the year 2026, Klay is no longer him. He no longer possesses Timothy status. A lot more people knew Sierra compared to the amount of people who knew Russell Wilson. A lot more people knew Cardi B compared to the amount of people who knew Stephon Diggs. And a lot more people knew Simone Biles compared to the amount of people who knew Mr. Simone Biles. Girl, I still don't know this man's name. They are different types of fame. I could be in a completely different country, on a different continent, where English isn't people's first language. And if I say Rihanna or play a very famous Rihanna song, there's a very good chance they're gonna know who that is, or they're gonna at least know the song. She built Fenty Beauty and Savage X Fenty. I don't think Fenty Beauty or Savage X Fenty would have done that well if it wasn't tied to Rihanna. The same way how I don't think Skims would have done that well if it wasn't tied to Kim Kardashian, because they're different types of fame, and there are different ways that your fame can be converted into commercial success. LeBron James isn't just a great athlete. He's influential, marketable, and he's built for the long haul. That influence turns into brand deals, business ventures, and income streams that will keep him paid long after he eventually retires. The same thing cannot be said for multiple athletes who have made millions and will probably lose most of their money. Now, I don't know if Clay was trying to leverage his relationship with Meg Thee Stallion for commercial success. A lot of people have accused him of doing that. If Clay was trying to leverage his relationship with Meg for commercial success, he did a really, really bad job at it. Because if you want to talk about someone who did maximize his moments, Travis Kelce. Travis understood the assignment. I did not know who this man was. Again, I'm not a sports fan. And now this man is everywhere. I didn't know he had a podcast. And apparently, it was from that podcast that he shot his shot with Taylor Swift. I did not know he had a brother in the NFL. And now, paparazzi, endorsements, because as long as Travis is attached to Taylor Swift, the amount of commercial success is going to be unimaginable. This isn't random. It's what happens when your visibility explodes. It's what happens when you're attached to a person who a lot more people know. And guess what? Allegedly, people are saying that there's a rumor that it was one of Klay Thompson's homeboys that snitched, and that's how Megan came to find out he was cheating on her. If that actually happened, if that rumor is true, I'll tell you why I think his homeboy did that. Because regardless of whether you find Megan Thee Stallion attractive or not, if Klay Thompson was able to marry Meg Thee Stallion, that would have changed his life. Argue with the wall, argue with your mother. Now, a lot of these basketball fans are saying that Klay doesn't need Meg, that Klay has way more money than Meg, that Meg's money isn't even important, that nobody cares about a woman's money. When it comes to getting a ring on your finger, that a woman's money isn't even important. You see, I can't just seem to understand how man logic works, because it's so finicky. Because which one is it? Is a woman's money important or not important? Because Taylor Swift, who also, unlike your grandma, doesn't have a body count of one, Taylor Swift has dated multiple men, just like Meg Thee Stallion. And if you want to be specific, Taylor has publicly dated way more people than Meg Thee Stallion has. Now, as a woman who supports women's rights to do whatever the hell they want to do, I don't care how many people Meg or Taylor have been intimate with. But we're using man logic, so stay with me now. Taylor has a lot of money. A lot more money than Meg. However, Taylor Swift was revered as the baddest bitch on the fucking planet when she popped out with Travis Kelce. But I thought y'all said that money doesn't matter when a woman is trying to get picked. Y'all been preaching that money don't matter. But now, in Meg's situation, money matters? Because when Taylor popped out with this random ass man, because I do not watch American football, so when Taylor popped out and then got engaged to this random ass man, a lot of basketball fans were saying that this athlete has leveled up because he got with Taylor Swift. Taylor, who is an internationally known famous pop star, who has a lot of money, who has had a lot of boyfriends, and who appeared to be ready to settle down. Clay is also an athlete who was dating Megan Thee Stallion, who is also an internationally known famous star, who has a lot of money, who has had a lot of boyfriends, and who also appeared to be ready to settle down. But the reactions from these two relationships were very different. Gee, I wonder what the difference between Taylor Swift and Megan Thee Stallion is. I just can't put my finger on it. And girl, both of these women are 5'10". Don't play in my face.